So why is Bitcoin blowing up again? Well, in this video, you will find out why it has blown up, what you can do to take advantage of it, and also if you haven't jumped into Bitcoin just yet, I'll show you how you can and get some free Bitcoin in the process. So let's go. Let's go. So why has it blown up recently? Well, it does seem that traditional banks are now cottoning on and realizing that there is something going on here, and they've decided to establish their own digital asset team because they're experiencing FOMO, and there's good reason for it. There's a lot of money being thrown around at the moment in the crypto space, in the digital asset space, so it makes sense to have a little bit of money in there invested and building up these teams just in case there is a huge boom and they can make a lot more money from it. And although these bankers are saying that they are investing in this area in order to get the expertise in digital assets only for defensive reasons, I just think they want to get involved and take a piece of that pie that is ever growing, and day by day as we speak is probably going up 1,500,000%. So yeah, and also to protect against inflation, which just happens to be my second point. So let's talk about that. So I do think inflation is a big reason why Bitcoin and all of these other cryptos are exploding, because in the past week they've released figures that over the last 12 months, inflation has been over 3%, which is very, very high, and there are rumors that this will continue to go up. So if you're keeping your money in a savings account at 1%, you'll be losing 2% every single year. And this is why we're seeing more money invested and more money invested into crypto, etc., etc., just because the returns of savings accounts are terrible and they're not going to get any better anytime soon. Thirdly, we've seen record highs for Bitcoin and other cryptos. And often what happens is when people see record highs, they get more involved, there's more publicity around it, so people put more money into it, etc., etc. So it's sort of a snowball effect until people sell, and then it completely goes down the other way. So we don't know when that will happen, but the record highs are just going to continue to propel Bitcoin and other cryptos to the moon, as they say. And the record highs for Bitcoin are mainly due to the Bitcoin ETF being approved by the US. And I think this is a big step for Bitcoin and cryptos in general, and I think we will see a lot of other countries follow suit very soon. And while all this has been going on, we've seen the unregulated cryptocurrency market rise up to 2.8 trillion. And Bitcoin accounts for over a third of this, which is absolutely bonkers. And the final reason why I think Bitcoin is blowing up is because of the network effect. So when you see people making videos about Bitcoin and Shiba and Dogecoin and any other cryptocurrency, it all adds into the overall sort of consensus and thoughts about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and it just raises the profile even more. So it just means that everyone knows a tiny bit more about it and they're more likely to invest into it. And it slowly snowballs into a giant thing. Although it is giant at the moment, I still think there's plenty of room for growth and plenty of to the moon to go. There's plenty more miles to the moon to go. You know what I mean. And this could potentially mean that there will be a big crash coming at some point, because the high, what do they say? The higher you climb, the further you fall, or something like that. So that's what's happening with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and the way you can take advantage of this is by basically buying some Bitcoin, because personally for me, I still think there's plenty of growth for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So get in now before it's too late. And essentially the reasons that I've just stated there, I think will continue to be the reasons why it continues to blow up. So it's not just, that's just not me just saying what's happened in the last week. I think those factors will contribute to the continued growth of Bitcoin and other cryptos. But make sure you do your own research and don't just listen to a random guy with a moustache on the internet, because that would be silly. And as I said, if you haven't bought any Bitcoin or crypto and you haven't even opened an account yet, then there's two offers that you could get, which are pretty good introductory offers for crypto.com and CoinBase, which will both be linked in the description if you do want to grab some free Bitcoin and some free cash. So downstairs in the description if you fancy that. And yeah, I personally use both of these apps and I think they're very safe, and in my opinion they're very good, but obviously it's up to you, so I'm not forcing you to do anything, I'm just telling you that it's there. So where does Bitcoin go from here? Surely the only way is up. Well, no one really knows, but there are reports and models suggesting that it could reach six figures by the end of this year. We're at $66,000, so potentially get to $100,000 by the end of the year. But who knows? That would be very quick if it did happen, but madder things have happened in the last few years. So you never know. You never know. You've got to be in it to win it, I suppose. And to be honest, there are a lot of skeptics who believe that it won't even touch 100,000. It'll dive bomb here, and we'll see 66 being the highest point ever. Who knows? I'm sort of on the fence. So I've only got 1% of my overall net worth invested in crypto, and I want to kind of push it up to 2, 3, maybe even 5%. But at the moment, I'm just sticking with what I've got, and I'm just slowly gonna creep it up a little as hopefully the bull run continues, but we'll see. So while I am invested, I'm not invested like 50%, or I'm not like the Dogecoin millionaire who's literally all invested into Dogecoin. So I'm not like that. I'm just playing it safe, because at the end of the day, we are looking for long-term growth and to try and keep as much money as possible within our grasp and not reliant on big wins and stuff like that. So slow and steady wins the race, in my opinion. But that's just me, the boring old me. But and while I do feel confident about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, I kind of want to stay as safe as possible and stick with stuff that's proven and has a long history, like the S&P 500. So we'll stick with that, and if I make money through the companies that do invest in crypto, so like CoinBase, PayPal and stuff like that, then that's a win for me as well, isn't it? So we'll see. So that's about it from me. Hope I've answered the question of the title, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do let me know, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and don't forget to get your free Bitcoin if you do want to do that. Up to you, of course. But yeah, I'm not a millionaire, but I'm trying to help you become one. So peace.